The stock market is a game of patience and perseverance where those who never give up will ultimately succeed. Tony Robbins. My friends, each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes, that's all we ask of you. Can't you find that time to help you plan for your future? Because you know what is coming. It's always coming. And it's going to be a terrible market crash. It's always there. What goes up has to come down. And what are you going to do when that occurs if you don't know how to read a stock chart? You could be like me back in the 90s. I was a fresh young lawyer, had been putting money away in my 401k, gotten up to $100,000, and in the dot-com bubble, it went up to $300,000. I mean, that's in the 90s, my friends. That was a lot of money. And all of a sudden, after just a couple of years of practice, I'm a genius. Why? Well, I've got a great financial advisor who is keeping me in all these. I'm taking a lot of risk because I'm young. I've tripled my money. And then there is the bubble burst. And when the bubble burst, each month, I'm losing about $30,000 a month. And I keep calling and saying, what should I do? What should I do? Let's just stay in. Let's just stay in. It could turn around. It went from $300,000 to about $98,000, $99,000 before it was over. Took every single bit of profit, just a little bit of what I had originally, but it was all wiped out. And at that point, I said to myself, I don't want that to ever happen to me again. I want to at least know what the hell is going on. And again, studying these charts each and every day can help give you that knowledge. That's what I want you to learn. We're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. Get educated. Study with us. Read books. Do everything you can do together. All the knowledge you can. Enough said. Let's jump into these charts. We see stocks and bonds down for the day. Gold and Bitcoin are up. Gold just a little bit. Now, here's what's happening. We saw the market drive up through the 11th with lots of volume, drive up through the 11th of December, continue to go higher on the 18th and the 25th, and then drop through the trend line this week. And what do we see going on now? Down 0.32% for the day. We had the Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Thursday two-day candle. We're down below it now. We can see days of down movement on the half day. But check this out. When things peaked, we didn't have average or higher than average, which we like to see, volume. We saw it here when things bottomed. And then we had a turnaround. We saw it again. We did not see it here when things topped. We saw some average volume here with a spinning top, and then it went down a little bit, then popped back up. And you notice that when it rotated over, we didn't have higher than average volume for the turnaround. And of course it died. So we did capitalize on this because we did have a drive down there. Not a good jumping in point though, I will tell you. Right here, bad jumping in point. We proved it to you because it didn't gain anywhere near what we needed. Then died on the vine, dropped over. And again, average volume there, higher than average volume as it went down. We won on that one. Then it sort of faded out. We did have average volume here, higher than average here, did pop down. I didn't feel comfortable with it because of how sloppy it had been earlier. But then we had the beautiful one. We had things bottom with higher than average volume and a green spinning top where it took off. What do we have now? We don't have the perfect setup. We have a sloppy setup. We don't have high volume for the peak, and we don't have high volume for the down move. Will it move down? It could. It could move down strongly, but we don't have anything securing that for us. So if you pull the trigger, maybe it'll be a big down day on Friday. Maybe we'll get some more volume, but we're not having the trigger event that I like. And that is, again, where if you want to play it safe, you just don't do anything. If you don't want to play it safe and you do want to go negative into something like SH, which is an inverse fund for the S&P 500, you can pull the trigger on that. Now you can look at the amount of volatility that's there. You can reduce the size of your X trade. We have a training on that so that at least you are taking less of a risk and you're willing to take a small loss for a potential sizable gain if it really does move down. There are ways to play those when they're not as sure, but I just want to tell you that as far as our setups go, this is not good. We don't have the volume down here that I like. I want to see peak volume on the top, and I want to see lots of volume with a doji going or a spinning top going down. That's what I want to see. And I'm not seeing the volume here, which again is what the old-time traders, and not just the old-time traders, but the guys from the past that help really, really teach us what's going on. This is the kind of stuff that they really focused on, that I've focused on, that's worked for me. About the same on the NASDAQ 100. Now, it is down more overall, down 0.15% for the day. We do have a red down candle, but again, don't have that volume here. We do see it on the 2-day here, high volume there, but not high volume at the peak. So again, just sort of ditto with where we are on the NASDAQ 100. 20-year bonds down for the day 1.52%. Again, I know these are holiday weeks. They're short weeks. But again, don't have just raging volume knocking it out of the park. Would another day's volume knock it above the average? Might. But again, I'm sort of guessing there, and I don't like to guess. I like to see strong indicators as to turnarounds. So again, nothing would stop you from taking your profits and pulling that trade on this up move. And of course, you could stay in a little longer if you so desired. Because what do we have here? We've got a doji. We've broken the trend line, but we simply have a doji there. Let's move on to gold. What's nice about gold is it's hit the ceiling that we put in here. Got a spinning top with lots of indecision. And of course, we have 1.5 candles, 3 days of down movement on the 2-day chart. And of course, the half day is below that weekly trend line. Lastly, where are we on Bitcoin? Bitcoin bounding up some for the day, 3.28%. It's above the weekly trend line on the half day and the 2-day, and it's above on the weekly trend line. We're above on the weekly chart. So again, moving in the right direction for us. Bitcoin just keeps a holding on. Doesn't mean it ain't gonna rotate over, but look at that volume. And again, Bitcoin is just that little train that keeps a chugging. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll stay in that for the time being on our practice trade. So appreciate you folks being with us. Always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. Patreon members, you have charting commodities, cryptos, and currencies. Already uploaded for you and emailed out to you, along with the exclusive 3-wave trades. That's a curated list of liquid stocks with liquid options and liquid ETFs with liquid options for you to take a look at. And of course, your weekly vertical crossovers. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.